So that's been a celebration. This, as far as I'm concerned, has been a mill made by God, because He's done miraculous things here, even though you can't tell. Even starting out, it hasn't been. It's been one thing after another of it falling into place. And even Fred was working as a lumber inspector for other companies, and while this was getting put together, he said the guys would come up and ask him, so how's your mill going? Oh man, we need this or we need that. And they'll say, give me a minute. And they come out, is this what you need?
Wow.
And so it was just pieced together. And so we went to church with the two other guys that we were partners with. And those two, everything, we would meet together at church, and it was like all the pieces would come together every Sunday, and we about never got out of church. But God has provided over and over. In around 99, 2000, when all the markets were really bad, we didn't know what was going to happen, and there wasn't a stick out here, and we were sawing, and every day they have prayer meeting. Every day we get the last log on, a log truck would roll in and give us one more load. And so it just kept us going. We never went into the red. God was very gracious. And we started telling people, you know, we need to pray for it to rain logs. And I'd have these little kids come up to me that I didn't even know, and they'd say, we're praying that it rains logs. And it's like, you keep praying that. So kind of the hard side of that was a lot of the companies that Fred was grading for, other sawmills, they were going under. And so all those little sawmills were having a really hard time and losing ground, and we just kept praying for it to rain logs. And lo and behold, it was almost embarrassing because it started raining logs, and this place, as big as everything that you could see, was so full of logs you couldn't get another one in here.
Oh my goodness.
And we were the only sawmill that had logs in their yard.
Wow.
And so it's just been one blessing after another of how God has just kept us running. And even still, even seeing all the logs here and all the lumber that's coming out, it is the worst market for sawmills ever.
Really?
That people have ever known that have been in the business forever. They said they've never seen it this bad.
Really?
And got a sawmill, a company up in Florence that we custom saw for. We don't buy our own logs. We custom saw, and they bend over backwards to make sure we keep sawing. So that's kind of where we've been at. But
so you've been doing this sawmill has been open for 25 years, you said?
25 years.
Wow.
We moved here in like 2000. And when we first moved here, there was nothing here. It was just woods. And that was one of those things too that God just put into place. And so seeing that come together, and then we're sitting here scratching our head because the economy was a wreck. It's like, what are we doing building? And it was just like God threw open the doors and said, go forward. And so we started building, and it's been one step after another, getting it kept us sawing. So it's been neat, just with relationships of different companies that have, and seeing God provide for it.
Okay, so, and you do all the accounting, all the paperwork, and
Yep.
All right.
So this
Very
now,
good.
we started out with 3 owners, and one of them still works for us. Another one retired. The one that still works for us, we bought him out. We're buying him out. So it's basically Fred and I. So that's been kind of a slow change over the time too, but still moving forward. Now we've got our son working with us too.
Oh, your son too. Cool.
Yep, the last few years. He's running the loader today.
Keep them in the neighborhood, these children, right? Not so far away with Florida like me.
He left and thought they'd be back here, you know, later. And it took him about 6-7 years after they got married and went through college and everything to get back up here. And he's a diehard working here. It's been a huge blessing him coming back and having so much more skills that he brings to the table here. It's been amazing.
All righty, Don.
You see the logs out here. These are cut, most of the time we're all in the UP. There's some from the area and stuff. We custom saw for another company. They bring the logs to us. We cut them up. These are green hardwood logs. We cut them up, send them out green. So they get packaged on the other end, and whatever they tell us what sizes they want and how much they want, and we cut according to that band them up on the other side, and they come and get them with a truck and take them away. So we don't do any drying or anything like that. So that's the easy side.
Yeah.
Drying, you can lose a whole lot of lumber at once. We do have a debarker that we don't use right now because we don't have enough time to run it. But the logs have to be loaded over the debarker, so there's a ramp, and then he takes the logs up with the loader, pile of logs, and takes them over that ramp and dumps them on the green chain coming in. When
So
it
it's a
comes in,
debarker, you said, Dawn?
The what?
A debarker?
A debarker that would take all the bark off the log.
I see. Okay.
It makes a better product going in overall, but you don't got the guys.
Gets rid of some of the dirt too.
Gets rid of the dirt, makes the blades last longer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So once we get closer, you're not gonna be able to hear me at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we'll work on this. So when it comes into the mills, it's gonna be end dogged into a scrag saw. And what end dogging is the log will roll down a ramp, the dogs will come in, they're suspended from above, come in to hold the log on both ends, pick it up, and run it through two head saws. So you got two big blades going like this, and it throws the log through it. And then comes back, flips it a 90, and throws it through again. And so the cant goes one way, and the slabs go another. The slabs go to be chipped out the other side. And then the cant that's left, you can either take more boards off that, or you can set it to our runaround, which is our Bruco, where another guy is at. And so that's one man. And there's this other guy. So he's in the Bruco, and that's like a merry-go-round that goes around, and it keeps going through a bandsaw.
Okay.
And that bandsaw takes and cuts the boards off. Of course, they try to pick the best face of four sides to cut that off all the way as much as possible. So that keeps going around and around until that's down to about a size they can't do anything more with, and they pick that out. Off from those boards, some of them have bark on the edge where they need to be cut off to make a better board. So that goes up to an edger. All that garbage goes to a chipper, or the chips that come off that scrape saw where the log comes in. That's where a lot of that goes.
And then where does that go? What do they do?
Sometimes it goes for teaching, like up in Marquette for the university.
Okay.
Sometimes it's bought by a farmer to use for his cows. Sometimes it's shipped down by Chicago, Milwaukee, and used for smoke for old Wisconsin meats type of thing.
Oh.
So it kind of gets around.
Yeah, the farmers use it for bedding, right?
Right. On that farmer, there's one up in Michigan that will get it up now and then. So it's the fine stuff, and then the chip stuff, and then there's that certain blend that smoke people like. So it kind of depends on who needs what and when. So they're not feeding up in Marquette, they're not storing it, so I don't know where they're at this year. We work for also sells out that for us, so they pay us and then get rid of it that way. So that saves us the hassle too.
Yeah.
So when the log comes in, it's went through the runaround, there's one thing left that needs to be done, and that it needs to be graded as far as the quality of the board and how many little foot pieces they can get out of it, and how much stain or bark pockets or anything like that degrades it. And that's where Fred's at. So that's another guy. So that's where he's at. So you've got the scrag, you've got the Bruco where it runs around, you've got the guy that edges it, you've got the guy that grades it, and you've got the guys that pile it, and you got the guy that runs the loader, and me. We have a new stacker now, and so now the guy that is inspecting the wood, which is Fred, he's standing. You can either have it go pile or have it go to the pilers, and so he shoves it forward so it hits the piler, and then it goes and automatically piles the bundles. So that takes up probably 8,000 feet easy a day off from the 12 to 14 that we usually run. We used to be in the 30s. We need more people for that, and we just don't have it. And with this market, we're lucky that we'll just keep as small as we can and produce as much as we can, just to help our employers just keep it up going, because the prices every week are just going down. Hit the tree.